Hey there and welcome back to Don't Open That Door. Come along with our triumvirate of terror as we descend into darkness, hurtle into horror, and plunge into peril. If you've ever questioned, why would you ever enter a for true haunted house? You're in the right place. I'm Justin, and I'm quick with a joke or to light up your smoke, and there's no place that I'd rather be.
I'm Nico, and I'm going to be your, I guess you could call me game master of sorts for today.
Well, I'm Dan, and I'm in the danger zone.
What? Danger zone!
And today, we're taking a little departure. We're not going to be reviewing a movie today, but we are going to be doing a Choose Your Own Adventure, which will be, of course, hosted by our very own Nico. Now, listeners of the pod might remember our
Abominable
snowy
snowman.
adventure with the Yeti.
Yo, remember the
They all
fucking
pulled
cannon
Yeah.
out of
They
nowhere?
pulled out cannons and shot us. But today we're going to be picking another classic from the Choose Your Own Adventure library. This one is called House of Danger, and it's being read to you by our very own Nico. Nico, take it away.
All right. It's a Tuesday afternoon late in June. You are on your way down to your lab in your parents' basement when the phone rings. You dash into the lab and pick it up. I need, says a weak voice. You hear a loud click and the phone goes dead. Drat! You weren't ready for that. When's the last time any of the three of us ever said drat?
Oh,
Be
drat.
honest. You, the aspiring detective and psychic investigator, caught off guard. You slumped down into your chair. That voice really sounded desperate. All right, now which one uses the aspiring detective and which one
Absolutely,
uses the psychic? So then you're the psychic investigator? All right, let's do this.
I guess. I feel like Justin's both.
Honestly, yeah. You boot up your computer and look around. The heat of the day has not penetrated your combination office and research laboratory, where you sit surrounded by the tools of your trade. Infrared-activated floodlights, high-speed movie cameras, and night scopes among them. 2 large bookcases stretched from floor to ceiling, crammed with titles that would drive the timid from the room. Murder and Fun, Ghosts and Ghouls, and Corpses I Have Known, to name a few. But the phone rings again. Jacques! And this time you're ready. You pick up the receiver before the first ring dies out, and at the same time, you activate your phone tracker and voice recorder programs running on your laptop and note the time. 2:42.
We ready?
Oh,
Hello, you say. Help! I need your help! There's like 5 L's, so. And we're not going to take any this episode. Who are you, you ask? What's your name? I'm scared, the voice says. They're after me. Get a hold of yourself, you say. I can help if you give me your name and address. They've got me. They've got me. Click. The phone goes dead again. This time, however, you were prepared, and in a few seconds that you've been talking, your telephone tracing device, which operates in milliseconds, has already found the number of the other phone and the name and address of its owner. 555-7259 Henry Marsden, 1100 Hedge Brook. You copy this information down in your smartphone. They got that part right. Something about this call is nagging at the back of your mind, though. Is it that this case reminds you of your spider ghost case? Yo, I want to know about the spider ghost. It too started with a mysterious phone call. Even though you were quite young, you solved that case single-handedly, and the citation you received from the FBI now hangs neatly framed on your office combination research lab wall.
Wow.
and yet we're still in our parents' basement, though.
Yeah.
Don't forget that
And
piece.
so young. My God, we are making the three of us look bad here. What have we accomplished? Nothing like this. Anyway, and the generous reward you see from the Ridgway family when you save them from certain death has financed your specialized detection equipment. One thing you learned from that case, though, is that working by yourself can be a risky business. Ricardo and Lisa, 2 of your friends in the neighborhood, have wanted to help you on a case. Well, this is their chance. And when you call their cell phones, however, they're not picking up, so you leave a message for them to call you back ASAP. Now, here's our first choice. You're eager to begin work on the case as soon as you can, but you know it might be dangerous to start off alone. Maybe you can do some internet searching before heading out on the case. If you decide you should go immediately to the address, turn to page 4, and if you decide to give Ricardo and Lisa a chance to call back, turn to page 13.
No, I
What'll
think
it be, lads?
I think we got this. We got it at a young age already, so I think I don't need these two.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I think, if they're not trying to pick up the phone,
Fuck them.
they
Yep.
can leave me alone.
Ah,
Yeah. Oh, bars.
But Nico, what's your thought as well? Because you're part of this process too. You agree with that?
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. Where were Ricardo and Lisa when we were out saving families in the neighborhood?
yeah.
They weren't
don't
doing
know.
shit. The Marsden residence turns out to be a large, modern house located in a fashionable suburb about a half-hour's drive from your house. I guess we can drive, so 16 at youngest, maybe?
Well, we also fought spider ghosts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Or we just stole a fucking car / made our own.
Yeah, we're only like 13, actually.
You see it first through a tall iron fence running along the road. The house is set back behind a broad and well-tended lawn. You park your car down the road and walk back to the gatehouse that gives access. The gatehouse is strangely old-fashioned and ornate in contrast to the main house. The heavy iron gates inside their framework of stone stand slightly ajar, leaving just enough room for you to squeeze through if you want to. A bronze plaque is set into the stone on the outside of the wall, and it reads, "Site of Hedgebrook Prison, which was burned to the ground during the prison riot of 1887. 112 prisoners died in the fire. Northwind Historical Society." Society, not society. That's something different.
Oh, okay.
You
We're
glance.
looking that up later tonight.
You glance again at the house. The front of it's constructed largely of glass, kind of like in Third 13 in Ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
A short distance to one side of the house is what looks like a large, strange metal sculpture rising out of a number of huge, blackened hunks of shattered concrete. And a shudder goes through you as you realize that these forms of twisted metal might actually be the remnants of the old, burned-out prison. Now, suddenly, a man dashes out of the house. "Help! Help! They're after me!" the man cries. Halfway to the gate, he drops to the ground as if he'd been hit by an invisible hammer. You dash through the gate and run toward the fallen figure, but something stops you in your tracks.
The invisible hammer.
3 snarling animals materialize at the front of the house. What are they, do you wonder? Can they be huge chimpanzees? They look mean and angry. And for a moment, you're frozen to the spot. The man on the lawn can't move and he needs your help. But what good to him will you be if you're mauled by the angry chimps who are wearing pants and shirts?
Curious George?
If you decide that the chimpanzees are not as dangerous as they look and rush to give aid to the man, turn to page 3. Or if you make a hasty retreat to your car, go 29.
Nah. Nah, they
No
ain't
retreat.
nothing.
Ain't no retreat?
No surrender.
All right. We got some wild motherfuckers in here tonight, lads. You have to admit that you're scared, but the man on the ground needs help. The only weapon you can think of is the penknife that you always carry in your pocket. You take out the knife and brandish it wildly as you run forward. Yo, a chimpanzee would still absolutely fuck you up. I'm just saying, even if you had a knife. Or, nay, a penknife. The chimpanzees seem to back off, but they're still snarling. And just as you reach the man on the ground, they lope off into the bizarre ruin near the house.
Yeah,
They
that's
swing
what I
through the
thought.
ragged network of twisted beams for a few seconds and then vanish. You turn your attention back to the man on the ground. His breath comes in short gasps that sound almost like sobs. Turn to page 10. All right, another choice in just a second here, lads. You bend down and take the paper from his fingers and examine it for a message. It's blank on both sides. But just then, the man gives one terrible gasp and lies still. Your knees are weak. This man has been frightened to death.
Wow.
Wait, so in between last page and this page, you just died?
Yep. 100%.
Wait, we saved him, and then it said go till page 10. He went to page 10, and he's dead?
Yeah, we saved him. The threat is gone. We have arrived at his assistance, and he's just like, all right, I'm going to be out.
Thanks. Peace.
Thanks.
The chimpanzees reappear in front of the house, though. One of them holds a long bamboo blowpipe. Try saying that 10 times fast. He puts it to his lips and blows. You feel a breeze on your cheek. Could it be from a dart whizzing by your face? You race back across the lawn, through the gate, and back to your car. This feels like real danger, and you promised your parents you'd call the police if your safety was ever at risk. But if you wait, whoever or whatever is going on inside the house might have time to escape. If you decide to come back later and sneak up from a different direction, turn to page 14. But if you decide you're going to call the cops and report a possible murder, turn to page 63.
Nah.
Okay, see, I'm torn here.
Every choice so far has been with nah.
Because on one hand, and this is the hand I'm going with, is nah, we stay in.
Right.
But on the other hand, this is like a job, right?
Yeah.
And didn't the guy who like, quote unquote, hired us just die? So like,
I don't think he hired us.
well, not
he
hired,
was just
but like
someone who
asked
was
for
there.
help. But like,
Yeah, he needed some help, so we helped him out.
like
We definitely didn't
know?
help shit.
not really,
We got there and dude alt F4'd himself.
but not.
We'll come back and sneak it from a different angle.
You drive about a mile away from the house and park the car on the side of a tree-shaded road. You check the time on your watch that doubles as a two-way radio.
Oh.
It's 4:35 p.m. It's been almost 2 hours since you got that phone call. You take out the piece of paper that you took from the dying man. You realize that it is the corner of a large sheet of paper. What? Two of the edges are cut straight, and the third side is ragged where it was torn off. Oh. You hold it up to the light, almost expecting a message to be somehow hidden inside the paper itself. You start to stick the paper back into your pocket when something makes you hold the paper back up to the light again. You hadn't noticed it before, but the paper has tiny flecks of red and blue in it. Now that rings a bell. Of course! The special paper that U.S. currency is printed on has those flecks in it.
Of course.
Turn to
Oh.
page 12. Several thoughts spin across your mind. Was that a man? Sorry, that was a man. Was that man Henry Marsden? Was it his house? Was he a counterfeiter? Or was he trying to escape from counterfeiters? Trying to escape seems more likely. And what about those chimpanzees? Could there be a counterfeiting animal trainer? No. That makes about as much sense as a yodeling astronaut.
Wait, but we were clearly...
Who said astronauts can't yodel?
Yeah, just no one would hear them.
Ah,
You totally could yodel back to fucking station command, I bet. As, you know, the fucking Mr. Armstrong said back in the day, one small step for man, then yole, yole, yole.
yep.
Anyway, you drive home to see if Ricardo and Lisa have called. You check your cell phone. Nothing yet. You put some...
Why did I need to drive home to check my cell phone?
You didn't have reception. Don't worry about it, bro.
Okay.
You had one of those, like, little cricket phones.
I thought we were going
Not
in at a different angle, not going home.
Don't worry about it. Later, you drive home to see if Ricardo and Lisa have called, so you check your cell phone, but there's nothing yet. You put some equipment into your shoulder bag, a pair of high-power binoculars, a small tear gas gun, holy
Whoa.
shit,
Whoa.
and a
whoa.
high-speed camera with a zoom lens. Now, hold on. Why does this kid have a tear gas gun?
Stay strapped.
Why was Choose Your Own Adventure predicting the decline of gun laws in our country?
Look, just keep it rocking, bro.
Then back to the Marsden place. You plant yourself in a clump of bushes across the street. From here you can see the house, but no one can see you. So you scan the lawn with your binoculars. The body of the man's disappeared, and all seems quiet. Turn to page 24. Just then, a long black limousine drives up to the gatehouse. Two tough-looking men get out and walk toward the house. And when they're almost there, the chimps appear. But the men just ignore them and go into the house. Then the chimps vanish again. Into thin air. That's it! The chimps aren't real. They must be filmed in projected holograms, which are three-dimensional pictures made with laser light programmed to turn on and off whenever someone approaches the house. Because in the 90s, when this came out, we didn't know about any of this shit, you see? Minutes later, the two men leave, carrying several small packages. Things begin to add up in your mind. This place is creepy enough, built next to the ruins of the old prison. Add to this the snarling images of chimpanzees to scare off anyone getting too close to the house, and it's a perfect base for operations for a gang of counterfeiters. The unfortunate man who died must have somehow stumbled into their hideout. You ease out of your observation post in the bushes and run back to your car and drive to the nearest telephone to inform the police. Then you check your watch, 7:23. Case solved in 4 hours and 41 minutes. Not bad. Turn to page 16. I'm also putting up the imaginary question mark right there with you, Justin. I feel like there's more to be had here.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay. The next day, the lead story in the Northwind Times is On a tip from a well-known local detective whose suspicions were aroused by strange occurrences around the Hedgebrook prison ruins, police raided a nearby house yesterday, exposing a counterfeiting operation. Seized were a number of bogus printing plates and a large quantity of counterfeit money. 3 men were arrested and charged with homicide as well as counterfeiting after the body of another, as yet unidentified, man was found in the basement of the house. The end.
Wow.
I guess these cops are just scary fucking efficient. I don't even know what to say with this one, fellas.
I don't feel proud of that.
I don't feel proud of that either. It's not very
I
spooky.
don't feel accomplished.
Okay.
Well, it was not. I thought.
We didn't
okay.
do shit.
Is this the same? Is this the right book?
Yeah. House of Danger. And we got to page 16, which has the end right here. I think we must have gotten locked down this early on. I think we should go back a couple decisions.
That wasn't very housey
Okay.
of dangery.
Yeah, it wasn't very housey. How
Dude,
about
we just walked up.
we walked up, saw there was some shit, happened to find the one thing that we needed to implicate everything happening.
And then call the cops.
What if we went back and gave Ricardo and Lisa a try?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's
okay.
just take it from there.
All right, page 13. Henry Marsden. You plug the name into every search engine you can think of and erase the memory of the past 10 minutes or however long this has been going on. As you type it over and over, you start to feel like you've heard or read it somewhere, but you can't quite place it. You are an avid history buff, though you're not as strung on names and dates as you are on what actually happened. You sit back in your chair with your eyes closed and your knuckles against your
Is that
forehead,
not history?
intense in concentration. Bro, I don't know. The thought that crosses your mind is it's something to do with the Civil War. Sure. Well, it's worth a try. There might be something in the history of Nothwin County. Now, where'd you put that book? It's somewhere in your basic research library. Finally, you find it. A thick green volume sandwiched between Gray's Anatomy and Blackwell's Poison Plants and Herbs. The book was published by the Nothwin Historical Society about 20 years ago. You pull the book from the shelf and run your finger down the index of famous names in the county, and here it is. Marsden Henry, page 93. Your heart beats a bit faster as you flip to the right page, and the book gives a short biography. Henry Marsden, born 1839, died 1887. Served in the Union Army during the Civil War. Severely wounded at the Battle of Shiloh in 1862. Appointed warden of the Hedgebrook County Prison in 1880. This prison was notorious in its day for its wretched condition and the harsh treatment of its prisoners. Glad to know that hasn't changed. Contemporary accounts say that it is likely Henry Marsden was killed in the fire that accompanied the prison riot of 1887. His remains were never recovered. Local legend states that he was murdered by the rioting inmates of the prison and that his ghost haunts the ruins to this day.
Okay, now we're getting some horror.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah.
right. You are so engrossed in reading this account that a rap on the window makes you jump. It's Ricardo and Lisa. Lyrical, miracle, spiritual. You let them in and give them a quick rundown on the case so far. They both read the account in the history book and your notes and listened to the tape of the phone call. This is really strange, says Ricardo. How's that? Asks Lisa. The name of the warden and this guy are called the same. Anyone can see that, says Lisa. Okay, now, want to guess where that prison was? Asked Ricardo. I know, because my dad and I were driving by there one day and he pointed it out to me. You're on, says Lisa. Out on the Hedgebrook Road on the north side. That means... That means... Right, you say. That either Henry Marsden is alive or we've got a ghost on our hands. Whichever one it is, we're onto one heck of a mystery. What should we do next? If you decide to go to the prison, go to page 15. If you decide to go to the police with your story, go to 87.
Okay, so real quick, first off, we know the truth. So I feel like we're just seeing how like much relying on our friends is gonna like fuck us up. But also, are the two friends like Ninja Turtles in disguise?
I think so. I think they're your like accomplices in this little detective outfit that we've got going on.
Okay, I say honestly, we can't go to the cops with just a ghost story. We got to go to the prison, bro.
Yeah, agreed.
That's what I was thinking too. All right, page 15 it is. 30 minutes later, the three of you arrive at the site where the old prison once stood. You find that this location is now occupied by a Kmart. Nah, it's occupied by a large, very modern house built on the outside almost entirely of reflecting glass. The front gate, by contrast, seems to be left over from the last century. A path leads from the gate across a wide lawn to the house, and you drive by slowly and park down the road. Walking back, you cross the lawn and double-check the number on the door. This is it, all right. 1100 Hedgebrook. Who wants to knock? You ask. There's no answer from Ricardo or Lisa. I'll do it, you say, and you give a firm, loud knock. The only response is a hollow echo. Are you sure the telephone call came from this place? Asked Lisa. Of course I'm sure. You reply, I know that. But then, the heavy front door of the house starts to swing slowly open. Turn to page 19. Hello? You call. No answer. You peer inside. Mr. Marsden? Hello? You call again to the gloom of the house. When your eyes adjust to the dim light inside, you see that the house is ornately furnished. Rich red, blue, and yellow carpets cover the floors. Chinese screens, flanked by tall bamboo plants, are placed against the walls of the entrance hallway. And what appear to be ancient temple carvings fill the walls and alcoves adjoining the hallway. This place looks more like a museum than a house. As you watch, a small concealed door opens in the side of the hallway. It had been completely hidden by the intricate patterns of inlaid wood. And out of the door comes a tall, slender woman with high cheekbones and narrow eyes. Her skin the color of ivory.
On the moon's light, gracefully reflects off of her skin.
She couldn't be.
No! She's dressed in a long, black, old-fashioned dress. Won't you three come in? She says in a high, unaccented... Ah, fuck! Won't you three come in? She says in a high, unaccented voice. Turn to page 28.
Is this the same story? This is like totally different.
Bro, I was about to say, I feel like this...
We have lost the plot completely. We went from, like, Law and Order to the House of Usher. Like, what is happening here? We're here to see Mr. Marsden, you say. Why, of course you are, she says. Is he all right? You ask. Earlier, he called me on the phone and said he needed help. But the woman doesn't answer. She only beckons with her finger for all of you to follow her. I already know what we're going to say, but I'm going to present the option just compulsorily.
Okay.
If you accept her invitation to go away and turn to page 21, but if you sense a trap and find a reason for leaving, turn to page 41.
21 it is.
21, bro. Oh, always got to go in, bro.
You got to do it. Got to go with the baddies. The three of you enter the house. As you do, the door behind you closes and locks with ominous clicking. You sense that there's something definitely evil, or at least alarming, going on here. The woman leads you down a long, dark hallway to a solarium.
Oh.
The afternoon sunlight streams in through a high glass ceiling. White, yellow, and purple orchids are arranged in neat rows along one side of the room. On the other side of the room is a collection of plants that you don't immediately recognize. I see you are admiring my babies, the woman says. These are my Venus flytraps over here. Are they not beautiful?
Is this just Troll 2?
We are... yeah, this is Madam
witch.
Druid
She's the lady from Troll 2.
Prudence or whatever the fuck. We are all so happy here. She picks up a trowel and tenderly starts to transplant one of them. A faint buzzing comes from somewhere in the room. Ah, I see we have yet another visitor, says the woman. Her face lights up with a kind of ecstasy. Come to my plants, little fly.
No, I'm good.
What the fuck?
You begin to notice a sweet smell, almost sickeningly sweet, that you hadn't noticed before. It's coming from the plants, y'all. The fly circles around and lands on one, and suddenly the fringed leaves snap shut and trap the fly inside. The light of the room grows dim, as if a dark cloud on PS2 has suddenly drifted between you and the sun. The glass walls of the house, the sweet smell. Suddenly you understand that you've walked into a giant Venus flytrap yourself! No!
What?
Something is happening to the woman. Her image is beginning to fade, and you realize that you can see right through her. Her form then begins to grow and re-solidify. It transforms into the image of a large, angry-looking man dressed in a Civil War uniform. What the fuck?
Fuck?
Ain't no way this is the same story.
What?
Bro.
He has a heavy whip in his hand.
Oh,
That's not
oh.
good. That's real bad. Actually, Choose Your Own Adventure, author R.A. Montgomery, that's real bad. Please reconsider. You look around you, and the walls have turned to a rough, darkened stone, and high above you, the skylight's been replaced by heavy bars. Now I'll deal with you rebels, growls the man. You think you can challenge the authority of Henry Marsden? As he said this, he lashes out with the whip. Sharp pain bites into your shoulder, and you feel faint. As you lose consciousness and fall to the damp stone floor, you hear only the screams of terrified Ricardo and Lisa. The end.
Wow.
Wow.
There's like 7 different genres in this fucking book, y'all. So, folks, we're going back for another branching path. This time, instead of going to the old house, we're going to stop by the police with page 41. I think we'll visit some other time, you say to the woman. We just stopped by to make sure everything's all right. The 3 of us back away from the door and start toward the car. Have Mr. Marsden phone me again when he has a chance, you call back. You think you can just come and leave that easily? The woman shouts in a high, almost screeching voice. You'll be sorry! You'll be sorry! She goes back into the house. The front door bangs shut, but her voice still seems to echo down the road. Finally, though, it trails off, and a strangely chilling breeze blows by in the hot afternoon. You all feel a tinkling sensation in your bones. You run to where you left the car, and it's gone! I'm sure we left the car right here, you say. I'm really confused. I definitely remember a new house just across the road from here, says Lisa. Let's go back, says Ricardo. Maybe we've just gone too far. That lady in the house scared us. I think we got mixed up. You walk back to the road looking for your car, but now the house is gone? Where it stood just minutes ago, the old prison stands now. Turn to 46. That lady in the house must have cast some kind of spell on us. We were all just dreaming, says Ricardo. Here, pinch me, says Lisa to Ricardo. Ow! I didn't mean that hard. Doesn't that prove we're not dreaming? Guys, this is serious, you say. I think we've traveled back in time.
What?
Wow.
Nani? How are we gonna get home? Ricardo asks, and also Nico asks. Before you can say you don't know, you hear shots and cries from the direction of the prison. There's something going on inside there, you say. It must be a riot. Maybe the one mentioned in the history book. The 3 of you race toward the prison. Nah. See what we're not gonna do?
Yeah,
the DOtD
at this
version.
Point,
Nah. But we can see smoke and flames coming up out of the barrel and the barred windows upstairs. You run up to the front entrance. 2 large, heavy iron doors with a foot or so of space between the top of the doors and the stone lintel above. This narrow gap glows red from the flames inside. Open up! You scream. Let the prisoners out! They'll be killed! You try banging on the doors, but they're all too hot to touch. Turn to page 52. Up on the highest rampart of the prison, you see a figure. Somehow, you know it's Henry Marsden. Flames lick up into the sky around. Yeah, we got some incredible perception, y'all. Just like eyes of a fucking eagle, I guess. Even at this distance, you can hear him scream, "Help! I need help!" It's the same voice you heard on the phone.
What the fuck?
Then black smoke obscures the whole front of the prison, and in the distance down the road you see a troop of mounted soldiers galloping towards you. Behind them is a team of horses pulling an old-fashioned fire engine. If you run and hide behind a tree to watch the action from a safe distance, go to 44. But if you stay on the road to help the soldiers, go to 47.
Oh, man.
I feel like we should leave this one to the pros.
Yeah, I ain't getting involved in some Civil War soldiers.
Antics?
Yeah. I can't
No
even
fucking
do that.
chicanery around these parts. Couldn't agree more. All right. Well, okay. From a safe distance, the 3 of you watch the soldiers break open the front gate of the prison and the firefighters spray water on the flames. Badly burned prisoners are carried out and taken away to the hospital in horse-drawn wagons, which pass you on the road. The sun is setting. You find your way into town, which, in the present year of 1887, is 2 miles away. You were born in the late 20th century, but you will finish out your life almost 100 years earlier. You'll have the distinction of being your own great-great-grandfather with knowledge that no one else possesses. The end.
Wow.
Yo, what the fuck?
Well, this story was took a few
Took
turns.
some fucking turns. Twists and turns.
How the fuck was the first one of holograms of chimpanzees? And whoever designed the holograms, why did they put chimps in clothing?
Also, like, why was this on top of some sort of temporal rift back to the 1800s?
We chose the most boring one at the beginning.
Yeah, I was like, yo, the first one we picked was like the true
Yeah.
path.
Yeah.
But then this is like a completely different story.
It wasn't a
That's
golden
not even
route.
the same story.
It was just like the mundane route. Like, oh yeah, here's a crime. Okay, you reported it. Good job, you did it. Yeah.
Yep.
But
Aren't we a psychic detective?
psychic detective and aspiring young investigator, yes. But somehow we ended up centuries in the past. Some real fucking House of Danger, more like House of Bullshit.
Okay.
Well,
So
What have we learned, folks?
I was gonna say, is this a book that you would recommend? I feel like we barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, there's still-
probably 7 other.
There's a bunch of routes that we could go. Apparently, there are 20 different endings, and not that anyone will be able to tell, but there is a like actual branching sort of like chart of where we could go. So I feel like we must have picked the shortest ones possible.
Really? I don't know, boss. Because it was the choice of either. We started from the beginning, so you're right. Because it was either wait for your friends or just go.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like if you just go, you get like the regular adventure story thing.
You take the blue pill.
Yeah.
Or red pill, or whichever fucking one is the one where you go back to the Matrix.
And if you wait for your friends, you get involved in like the Civil War shit.
Which, can I just say, what a fucking wild tone shift to the rest of this.
I don't know.
Just out of literally nowhere. What the fuck, y'all? What the fuck?
Well, on that note, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Yeah, guys?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to say, but if you like what you've heard, are intrigued by what you heard, or are mystified by what you've heard, that should cover
You
everyone.
can join us because we are too.
Yeah, you can join us.
And if you were thinking of getting a movie review this week, here's one. Go see Barbie. It's fucking incredible. That's it. You're welcome. Bye.
So you can tell us how confused you are.
Because we are too.
We're on Twitter and Instagram at DOTD Horror. We're also on Facebook. That's Don't Open That Door. Plus, you can catch everything we've done on our website, which is, of course, DOTDhorror.com. But till then, try to avoid temporal rifts.
Don't put clothes on chimpanzees.
Look out for one another. But as always, dear listener, don't open that door. Bye.